Julian, good to see you, brother. James, pleasure to see you. Let me know if you can hear me. Jamie, always good to see you. Always good to see everybody. Boom! Loud and clear, fresh headphones. What can you expect but the best, eh? What's been happening, people? I've been, I don't know what's been going on, eh? Feels like I've just blunked one eye, eh? Here we are. Almost at the end of 2018. Can you fucking believe it, dude? Can you believe it? Almost end of 2018. My mind is in a state of what's going on, which I'm happy about, bro. Because I'm feeling the magic. Yeah. I thought to myself this morning when I was at the gym, I was like, better do a live stream, eh? It's the right time, man. It's the right time to do a live stream. Speak to the people briefly. Briefly. Which probably means an hour. And then we'll see what happens. Shouts to the dude I met yesterday on the street. He was a killer. He was killer. He was a cool dude. And he really did make me think of everybody. So I was like, you know what I mean? I'm in a live stream. What's been happening? Let's get into it. Sun's right in my face right now, bro. Right there, dude. Like, even if I look in the reflect, you know, speaking of the sun, dude, I had my mind, I was thinking about the sun the other day. Just, it's been so cold lately, man. And now we're moving into spring. And the sun is just like, dude, my pinky, like, I was riding, right? I was riding. Like, salute to the sun. That's the key point. Salute to the sun. Because I was riding, man, and I forgot how good the sun felt, bro. Like, I fucking, my pinky drifted into the sun's ray. Into it, like just my pinky. And my life, like, I became ecstatic, dude. And I was just like, all it takes is my pinky to drift into the sun's ray. And look how ecstatic I am. My power went up tenfold. Just about to go head to bed. London, mate, great to see you. We'll watch when I'm awake. Shouts to you, brother. Salute. Death Star. Always good to see you. I don't think I've seen you before. Maybe you're someone I know with a different fucking, you've changed your name. Shouts to you, brother. Good to see you. Mohammed, beautiful name. I miss you too. I've just been chilling, dude. You know? I say I've been doing nothing, but I'm not, you can't really be doing nothing, eh? Because if you're existing, you're not doing nothing, you're alive. Something. But in terms of making videos, I've been doing nothing. You know what I mean? How's life? Life's phenomenal right now, bro. You know what I mean? Life's good, bro. I mean, we can get into details, but it's always good. You know, it's always good. Give me a sec, man. My phone's bugging out. Why can't I scroll up? I can't scroll up. Oh, here we go. What's your training at the moment, lad? I got back into training, like, you know, I was training weights after that long ride, right? And then I picked up the cycling training. I say training. When I say training, it's just cycling. Even the cycling I did in between, it still had a bit of intention, but the intention shifted to, like, you know, actually increasing performance. So I say, when my intention shifted to increasing performance, it was about 11 weeks ago. But I had a few things where, like, I had to go film this, to do this filming job, which didn't make it hard to train, but, you know, I couldn't do exactly what I wanted to do. But it's been about 11 weeks, probably 10 weeks. I'm coming into my 11th and 12th week of this first block of cycling training, and I feel good, bro. I feel good, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to make sure that I keep it, you know how it gets, bro, you know what I mean? Just keep it controlled. Keep it controlled, keep the intentions high with every session. Take it seriously, not take it too seriously. The yin and yang of it, you know what I mean? Taking it seriously like it's the only thing that matters in life, and taking it not seriously like it matters fuck all. That's really the dynamic you have to work with, man. Otherwise, it can just destroy everything. So, you know, trying to implement it to benefit my life, and then also making sure that I'm not going out there and just wasting kilometers, you know. I think that's a big thing, at least I found with when I'm actually training. It's just like, I just don't do shit for the sake of it. Now, that doesn't mean I won't go out and chill, because that has a purpose. You know, just going out and relaxing, you know what I mean? Just soaking up the fresh air. But I mean, if I'm feeling tired, like extremely tired, I won't push it for no reason. And that's really something that's taken me years to learn, and trust is that there's always a time to push and there's always time to pull, and then having faith that you'll be able to do it when you need to. That doesn't mean that you don't prepare well. It doesn't mean that you don't execute when you need it. What it does mean is that you execute when you need to execute. So it's like, if you don't need to ride, and riding is going to set you back, but it's just going to make you feel like, yeah, I'm sick, I can suffer. Well, there's no point. That's backwards. You know what I mean? That's sending you back a couple years. It's pointless. So, I've been juggling a lot of that, you know, because it's not like I'm in amazing shape. It's like I'm in okay shape. So I do feel, you get more tired often. So you got to be malleable with the schedule. But it hasn't been that much riding, bro. I've been trying to do riding. One thing I have implemented that I didn't do last time I was training with cycling is, like, last time I did with cycling training was I jumped straight into it. I had 12 weeks to prepare for a long bike ride, right? 12 weeks. Obviously I had a bit of experience previously, but on and off. You know my style, on and off, you know, with cycling. But I had 12 weeks consistency. I set myself 12 weeks consistency. And what I ended up doing was I ended up just doing, like, I probably averaged 200 kilometers per ride in training at one stage. You know, 7-8 hour training sessions. But I was so torched because I didn't have the physicality, is that I would do Monday, then take 2 days off, do Thursday, take 2 days off, and then do Sunday, and then take 2 days off. So I'd end up clocking, you know, 20, 25, 30 hours, whatever I would clock, but I'll be taking lots of days off in between. So if you put that in perspective of trying to do a multi-day thing where you're going back to back, I mean, it doesn't really serve a purpose. I mean, it serves a purpose, but obviously you're not training that ability to reproduce the effort day in, day out. You know, you're taking 2 days rest after 200k ride. So a big thing for me was, it's not like necessarily doing more training, it's just being smart about how I place my training. So if I'm going to do X per week, it's like I break it up into more frequent rides, and then instead of just doing 3 long rides, extremely long rides per week. I think they're useful, but I can still implement them, but still make sure that I'm just used to every day getting on, not every day, but at least, you know, 2-3 days. Some days I do 4 days straight, 5 days straight, getting used to just continuously going, which has really helped, man. I know it's a long-winded answer. Shouts to you. Yeah, I'm back, bro. I never left, brother. I never left. Shouts to you. I hope everyone's well. What's the name of the Turkish bread? It's just Turkish bread. You know, that's the name of the bread, brother. Just go in there and try, you know, I'm a fan of all sorts of breads, man. Afghani bread, Turkish bread, whatever you want, I'm a fan of it. I'm a big, big fan of it. Doing sports young helps condition your body long term. Of course it does. Of course it does. There's no doubt about it, that you definitely should be active during your teen years. It makes a big difference, bro. It makes a big difference. You know, I've seen both ends of the spectrum. It's not like if you weren't active during your teen years and that kind of growing up, no, I wouldn't say growing up period. I mean, you're always growing up. You're always, you know, developing in some way or another. But I'm saying, like, in those years when you notice a large amount of physical growth, I think it's key to be active, man. It's key to be active. For sure, man. I think that people often have a harder time if they sustain a level of obesity over those years, whether it be that you just develop those habits and you sustain them through that large chunk, if that's what hinders you, or it's something on an actual genetic physical level that if you try and stay in decent shape throughout those years, it's easier to maintain. I think it's a mixture of both, man. I'm no sports scientist, so I don't know what happens on the cellular level or whatever, but it's a mixture of both habitual things and I think the other side of it. Bro, I had a month of training. I did 26-mile marathon yesterday and managed it somehow. Shout out to you, brother. I mean, if training teaches you anything, man, is that your body's a phenomenal machine. It teaches that your body's a phenomenal machine, the mind's a phenomenal machine, the brain's a phenomenal machine. Training really, that's why I love training a lot, bro. It just highlights how amazing the body is as a vehicle for you to be able to do whatever the fuck you want to do, bar jump, bend the rules of this reality, like me jump off here and fly around. You know what I mean? That's what it really shows to me. And I did a long ride yesterday just with Eddie, and I was just blown away. It's not like I was blown away by my performance, but I was just blown away by the body itself, and training can really help you, or it can really fuck you up in one way and help you over-identify with your body, become too attached to your body, and then really ground you in a reality that's just limited and keep you just like worrying about things that really don't fucking matter. Or it can really open you up. Now, obviously you want to be the latter, and I think if you approach training right, it can really highlight that for you and take your life to the next level. And just little simple things, subtle things that you can pick up in training, that if you've been training for a long time, and if you have some level of structure to training, that just blow your mind, man. They blow your mind when you think about them, and that's what really excites me. Like if I wake up and set my mind to go do 100k, right? Like I got a loop here. You can go Frankston and back. It's 100. It's like 90k, right? It's weird. It's not weird, man. It's just amazing how, like, if I set my mind on doing that, like the level of fatigue I feel, there's like probably a level of fatigue I feel when I'm almost at Frankston, about the halfway point. Regardless of pace, I kind of feel like shit. I'm almost halfway. I'm about to turn around. But if I get up and I set my mind to go double that, like I'm fixed in it, my mind's fixed on it, and the intentions are correct, like I will feel that same feeling before the turnaround point, even if it's double the distance, even if regardless of pace. Do you know what I mean? It's epic. I don't know if I conveyed that correctly, but you're trying to understand what I'm saying. How's Eddie's condition? Eddie's amazing, brother. Eddie's amazing. I'm not trying to be mean, but for his size, he's lost a lot of weight. Shah said he's lost a lot of weight. For his size, his amount of years smoking, like, he's in decent shape, man. I mean, he puts a lot of effort in. Don't get it twisted. Years ago, he used to train. Me and him trained. We used to train for years together, lifting weights. So he knows how to push himself, because, we would push each other to the fucking max, man, when we used to train. We were full Jay Cutler, train till failure. Like, I would do like the most isolated glute exercise and my eyes would be bloodshot. That's how ridiculous we used to train. I'm talking like 150 rep sets to failure on the hyperextension. Like stupid shit, Not stupid, it served a purpose, but what I'm trying to say is he knows how to push himself. So he gets a lot out of his body at this current state it's in, which is it's quite heavy. But when we ride, you just see nature at work, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like on the flat, he does well because he's heavy. He's got a lot of power, just raw power. But as soon as we go up a little incline, it's just like gravity's just like, you know what I mean? And but he does well, man. And he enjoys cycling. He's like one of the only dudes I really enjoy cycling with, man, because we can just not talk and just ride, and then we can talk if we want. It's just epic. Alyssa's a pleasure to see you. Sorry if I'm missing comments. We'll get to them. Just keep dropping them if you want me to answer them. What have I been doing? Yeah, man, I don't even know what I've been doing, bro. To be honest, well, I know what I've been doing, man, but... Well, let me try and think about it. I don't keep too many tabs, man. What ended up happening probably since the last time I saw you was I was working construction for a while. Let me give you a quick update, okay? I was working construction for a while. I was working this dope job in construction. You know, it was cool, but it started getting a bit... The job I was working on, they were under the pump. So it was really good. There was a lot of work. I mean, in terms of, like, I'd go to work every day and it would just be fucking... It would be meathead level type of work. Not meathead level, I mean, it was just a lot of work. Which is great, especially in construction, man. Last thing you want to be doing, especially when you... Like me, technically I have no skills, so... Is the last thing you want to be doing is sweeping, which I do enjoy sweeping, but I don't want to do 50 hours a week just sweeping, which I will. It is okay, but there's other things I would rather be doing. So when the job was picking up, it was great, and then at the peak of it, you know, through mystical forces, not really mystical forces, you know, a long wind of events. You know, a really nice person recommended me to do this filming job where this girl was riding across the country. Shout outs to her, her name's Vidangi. So I went and did that. That lasted probably 2 or 3 weeks. And it really set me up good financially. Like, I'd never been copped that much money in my life. So when I came back, I was like, you know, it would be cool if they called me back to go back to that construction job. And they did. And I was like, fuck, this worked out too perfectly. You know, some mystical's happening, dude. They called me to go back to the job that I wanted to get, right? So I went back there, and it was good for a few days, but then ended up slowing down, man. And I just felt like it was just one of those moments, man, where I had to launch, I always have these moments, man, after a period of time where it's like, I get to a turning point where it's like, look, this is irregardless of hard work and discipline. You know what I mean? It's not like, it's like, you either sit here and just do fuck all, and tell yourself that you're being disciplined when really you're not. You're just being comfortable, and I can just sit here, or I can just fucking launch and just go off the deep end, double somersault off the highest block. And that's what I did. I took my money, I put it into my rent for the next 7 months, and I just said, I'm gonna read a book. You know, because I got to a point, bro, where I was like, I thought to myself, like, I just had this epiphany, man, and I was just like, people don't have the knowledge, And I thought about the knowledge in my life and how I've received the knowledge, and I just thought knowledge is key. Because without the knowledge, bro, it's really hard to perceive anything decent. You know what I mean? Other than shit, piss, fuck, bingy. You know what I mean? So, I was talking to my mate, and I was like, bro, it's sad that some brothers don't have the knowledge. And I'm not claiming I have the knowledge, but I just thought, like, out of the limited knowledge that I have gained through experience, and, you know, experience, really, because I never read a book in my life. Obviously, I had read information online and stuff, which does count. But it was much more experience-based. I thought, man, it's amazing how that makes a difference. It's amazing how the knowledge of anything really enhances your perception and just your quality of life. It really is the key. And then I thought to myself, brother, how can I claim to be trying to understand this the best I can if I don't read? You know, it's an act of humility for me, man. Because the whole time I thought to myself, I'm being honest, the whole time I didn't want to read, and you probably heard me say is, I didn't want to be a book reader because I didn't want to be a book reading cunt. Now, what I mean by that is, there's nothing against reading books, but what I experienced in my time was that I always met people who talked the talk about things that were so far beyond what they had actually done, experienced, and doing, that it just upset me a little bit. Because I'd be like, here you are, bro, you're talking about free will, you're talking about all these concepts and shit, because you sat there and you just watched a lecture online, and then you're coming to me and you're talking about it, and I honestly have no fucking idea about it, but neither do you, and it's just an intellectual war. But at the same time, I thought to myself, you know, what kind of reason is that not to read a book? You know? Like, what kind of reasoning is that to limit my own knowledge? You know? So it was a really humbling act for me, because I just thought to myself, like, my pride's getting in the way. My pride was getting in the way, man. And I was like, it's time to read a book, bro. You know, I've been on this earth long enough. It's time to sit back and read a book. Now, it was a next level experience for me reading this book. I essentially did this job, laid down half a year's worth of rent just so I could start reading. I'll tell you what, next level, man. Next level. It was just epic, man. It was just so epic. I never thought it could be so epic, bro. I'll tell you what, in terms of focus and concentration, next level. Next level tool. Just like it's exactly the same as training, exactly the same as meditating. Not exactly the same, but I put it in the same basket in terms of revolutionary, uplifting life quality. That application of concentration, you know, for a set amount of period per day. And then having the discipline to go back to it every day. You know what I mean? And that was amazing. So, long story short, that's what I did. You know, so I just knocked off a few books, boom, boom, boom. Books that I had skimmed before, I skimmed them, but I wanted to read them start to finish. And not even just read, bro, study. It was more studying for me. You know what I mean, bro? If anyone's watching this who doesn't read, take it from me, bro. I had so much pride, I didn't want to read a book, man. You know what I mean? But it just came to a point where I was like, I got too much pride, G. I gotta put this shit away. It's time to enhance it a little bit. So I started reading. So, you know, trust me, I'm the anti, bro. For years, for almost a quarter of a century, I said I never read a book. A quarter of a century, lad. That's a long time not to read a book. Because I was too arrogant. And I'm really only sharing this with you because if there's anyone out there who's was in the same boat as me, who was like, nah, I don't want to be one. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, if I want to learn it, I want to learn it the hard way. You know what I mean? Like, in that state, read. It's cool, man. So, shouts to you. That's like my little story. So that's what I've been doing, man. And now we're here. My problem is finishing the book, so I get distracted easily. Shouts to you, Julian. You know, I'm like that too, but that's what really drew me to pick it up, because I just thought, like, man, obviously there's the knowledge aspect of it. I hate reading, man. Watch a YouTube video. They're completely different, bro, because YouTube video, the information doesn't digest the same, bro. Trust me, because I've watched a lot of YouTube videos in my time. And the information doesn't digest the same. The level of intention, I'm talking from my own standpoint, the level of intention is different for me. When I sit down and I fucking read a book and I set the intention to develop more knowledge and sit there and hone in on my focus and my concentration, the rate at which I digest and sustain and I retain that knowledge is way higher, bro, than just sitting there and skimming videos on YouTube, bro. You know, oh, this is cool, skip. Oh, this is cool, skip. And I found that in the books I was reading, there might be a bit of a lull bit, but I felt like it was a commitment. I felt like, yo, dude, I know there's like a dope chapter, 10 page, like, and I'm gonna stick with it. And it comes together, man. Something about it. I know a lot of you dudes who love to read probably know what I'm saying when you first started doing it. So, get off the YouTube a little bit, bro. Obviously not now, stay on here. But the information, I feel like the retention is way higher. It's way different, man. It's way different, you know? It's way different. Book recommendations, please. You know, I'm on to my third book now, which is the Bible. Funnily enough, eh? You know, so... I haven't read that many, bro. So I can't really recommend. You know, the 3 books I read did start to finish was the Gita, the Quran, and now I'm onto the Bible. Because I thought, you know, like, if there's a place I'm going to start with some of the... You can debate whether you think they're the best put forth ideas and concepts of the origins of life itself. But I thought, you know, how can I be a human being, man? If there's texts out there that are doing their best shot at trying to understand what's going on, how can I call myself someone who's trying to understand if I can't humble myself to read those? That's where I'm going to start, and that's why I started there. And they were amazing, man. You know what I mean? When you say G'd up, are you saying G'd up A or G'd up hey? I don't even know what I'm saying, dude. I don't even know, you know, like, I used to say G'd up, I don't even know what it means. Until I met this dude in California named Nick. Shouts to Nick. And he reminded me what, he reminded me, he didn't remind me, he informed me, I should say, of what it meant. You know, and then we crashed the car on the way to get ice cream. I think the same day. I never forget it, man. I never forget it. He was driving way too quick on the freeway, and I was like, bro, it's way too fast because we're trying to get to the ice cream place before it shut. We were slaves to the ice cream. See how we got it so fucked up, we just wanted to eat. That's what was on our mind. We were driving way too quick, and we slid out, and it was over at that point. Hello? Sorry, man. I was Eddie hit me. Yeah, I'm still eating rice noodles, man. I've been eating all sorts of noodles, man. You know, I've just been eating, bro. We back. Shouts to everybody here. Were you raised Muslim values? If so, how strongly do you hold back? How strongly do they hold you back now? I wouldn't say they hold me back at all, bro. At all. Like, if anything, I never really chose to believe anything just off. Yeah, I was raised a Muslim. To answer your question plainly, I was raised a Muslim with the values and all. But with anything, bro, like, if anything, my faith and belief in anything's only cultivated with time. I mean, when I say time, I mean just actual experience on fucking planet Earth and critically thinking about things. You know, through just plain logic and through just plain experience. So I never just accepted anyone else's belief for the sake of it and just thought, yeah, you tell me this is what God says, I'm going to believe it. Because I noticed very fast that falsely believing something for the sake of it doesn't have any results. You know what I mean? Like, if believing in God because you tell me to believe in God is going to enhance my reality to any fucking degree, it won't unless I believe it. You know what I mean? I'm still the same person, it's still the same mind, it's still the same heart, it's still the same level of perception, unless it comes from me. So I was always very conscious of the fact that I had to come to it on my own terms, which took me a lot longer than what I thought would, man. What I thought would. And it's still a process, man. Still a process of learning new things, experiencing new things, looking at old beliefs, new beliefs, and just shedding layers of fucking skin like an onion, man. Seeing how things are holding you back and just moving through, which sometimes is hard, but it's an enjoyable process. Are you an atheist? No. Do you like being in a dreaming state? Think it's interesting? I love dreaming, bro. I think dreaming's an extremely phenomenal tool. If you can harness it, which is quite hard. But I make a point of practicing dreaming. I think it's key. You know, I would take like a month. And practice dreaming, and then come back to it, and then now, recently, speaking of it, I just started doing it again, but I'm going to do it for a year. I told myself I'm going to commit to it for a year, which is a big commitment, but I thought it was a perfect time because, you know, my training was getting to the point, man, where I felt like I was not slipping, but I was investing quite a bit of time in training, you know what I mean? Like, right now, more than what I was before, and I noticed that it was occupying quite a lot of my mind space, and I thought, I can feel this starting to get a bit unhealthy, you know what I mean? So practicing dreaming, practicing all these things, it helps me, man, neutralize it, bro, because I know that if like I'm slanted to one side and I can't keep the mind empty, there's no way I can dream, bro. There's no way I can recall a dream. There's no way I can go lucid. There's no way I can do any of those things if my mind's occupied with all this bullshit, you know what I mean? So that's why I thought to myself I'm going to commit to it for quite a long time, and almost from my own personal experiment, because I'm fascinated by it, bro. And I never thought, and I always thought there was strong power, even from and I've just seen the connection between the dots, between dream states, trance states, whatever you want to call them, across personal experience, across religious information. Like, there's just too much. There's too much. What's the word I'm trying to look for? There's too many unknowns in dreaming, unknowns within the dream world, for me not to explore it, those states. And there's been too many there's been too many people, there's been too many people experience the same things, and too many correlations with those states, that it's a must for me to explore them, and it's key, because I think there's something there really important. Obviously, it's a level of subconscious shit that's going on that you know, that reveals itself to you at night. There, and if you can become conscious of that, obviously that's can lend itself very well, just to improving your general quality of life. So, it's exciting, man. It's exciting. It's exciting stuff, bro. You know, if you can pay attention to it, fuck, man, it's like a superpower. Anytime I've had any prolific dreams within my own experience, I've woke up the next day and just felt amazing, man. The benefits are endless, man. You know what I mean? If you have any sort of lucid dream, out-of-body experience, anything like that, the benefits are endless, man. I think everyone should at least try for a period of time. Like, I talk to my mates and shit, and we talk about it, and I say to them, like, I was telling my mate the other night, right? I told him about this intention to do a year straight experimenting. And he was like to me, and I was like to him, look, bro, like, sometimes, you know, my mind can be a bit cluttered. And I was like, sometimes it just doesn't work, man. You know, it just doesn't work. Just because I didn't set my day up correctly. You know what I mean? I didn't have enough focus. I spent too much time on the internet, you know, just shit, whatever's contributing to me not be able to do it, something happened. But even then, it's still a pimp practice to have, because it's essentially like going to trying to achieve a deep meditation for like however long it takes. So even if it doesn't work, you end up sleeping the rest of the night great, and you wake up feeling great and clear, you know. So I'm all about it, man. I know that was a long-winded answer, but shouts to, I used to take CMA tablets back in the day. Shouts to you. A lot of people experience that. And Jay, bro, I just went through it. I'm sorry, brother, but nothing crazy, man. It's not like I won the lotto or something. Thoughts on alcohol? I don't drink alcohol. You know, I don't recommend alcohol. Now, people, you know, I know a lot of you. Yeah, Cooper, correct. I know a lot of you might drink recreationally, but for me personally, number one, I don't like the taste of alcohol. You know, I never developed the habit of drinking alcohol, because when I was young, I started drinking alcohol a little bit, but then I got into training, so I was like, why the fuck am I going to drink alcohol? So I didn't, taste, habit, training, and then I just think overall for my quality of life, I just don't think it's a worth trade-off for me to drink alcohol. You know what I mean? At all. I think long term, you know, we can sit here and debate whether or not on a body level, on a health level, that you can sustain it long term at a moderate level and be physically quite healthy. I think you could do that, but I think there's more levels to it other than just be physically healthy. Like, I don't like this idea of going out there and moderately altering my state for what? You know what I mean? Like, if there's any life that I'm trying to get used to is this life at a raw level, not at an altered level. Like, so trying to calibrate to the rawest format per se, and that's not on alcohol. And then there's just so many downsides to it. You know what I mean? I just see the traps, man. Even from just a monetary standpoint. I think weed's a bit different. I think, honestly, I don't smoke weed, but I do think of weed is a bit different. But I think it's really person dependent. I think it's really, smoking weed, obviously I think it's really person dependent, how often you smoke it, why you smoke it, when you smoke it. You know, like, there's so many things that go, it's hard for me, I can't judge anybody or give you really any critical advice. You know, thoughts on Slart's promiscuity and the thought general Western culture. You know, I think we live in an over-sexualized culture. I mean, cunts fuck like it's just a sip of water. You know, they're so bogged down in their body, like, they fuck like, it's crazy how much. I think personally, dude, now this is my own personal opinion, I think people have sex way too much. Way too much. It's literally like nothing, man. It's like nothing, bro. You know, I was created from a piece of semen through the act of sex. Do you think people have sex and think about these things? About how amazing, like, this is a tool to create life? But we don't. And we don't. And I see lots of negatives with it, bro. Obviously, it just desensitizes you to what's going on. And you lose a bit of respect for the whole situation. What's going on, bro. Because it really is a divine... I know this might sound cliche or whatever, but... You know, I put it in the class of the same thing. Of reading, of meditating, of going lucid, of doing a 4-hour TT and forgetting who you are. I put it in the exact same basket, bro. Exact same basket. You know, on a physical level, it's literally, you're sharing an exchange with someone else where it's like the deepest you and somebody else will ever go. Like, you're literally inside another human being. It's fucking crazy when you think about it like that. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's something you just toy with for the sake of it. Now, people are going to... But if you do toy with it just for the sake of it, it's no different to me. It's no different than binge eating. It's no different to coming home, being in a state of desire and think, you know, I'm just going to whack off. I'm just going to beat off. Why? Because you're needy. You're not full within yourself. You're needy. You're needy. You need that release, G. You need that physical release of hormones. You're trapped. And you're just looking at it from superficial value. I mean, that's at least what I believe, man. So, it's just sad when I would be in environments when I hear dudes talking about sex. Like, dudes be talking about how they have sex with their wife to me at work. At work, dude. And I met them for like a fucking minute. And I'm just looking at them like, come on, bro, I don't even know you. Here you are talking about having sex with your wife, man. This is meant to be the girl you love, that you share the utmost level of intimacy with. That you go, you know what I mean, like, deep inside of her. There's a reason why you go deep inside of her. Because it's no game, it's no joke. And here you are, sweeping the floor with me, telling me about how you fucked your wife last night, and it's like some sort of cool thing that it's just like, who won the footy on the weekend, dude? You know? It's like they've maintained this high school level mentality their whole life. You know what I mean? Like, it's like credit to you. Here you go again, being a fucking, taking something that's quite amazing and simplifying to where it's nothing. It's meaningless. You've taken something with inherent large meaning and made it completely meaningless. I mean, that's a Western thing we love to do. Take meaningful things and strip them of all level of meaning. So where you feel no magic at all, and then you can't even make the bed and you're watching lectures on YouTube thinking why shit's not working out. That's from my own experience, because I've done that before. I'm not saying you're doing that, I'm just saying that's what I've done before. Beard looking healthy, shouts to you, brother. I'm about to shave. I'm going to shave it today. I just haven't shaved it for a while because it's too expensive. Have you ever broken the long cycle downward spiral of depression? Sometimes feels... I got triggered, dude. I got triggered in a good way of depression. It feels endless. I have, bro, but I never really thought, you know, like years ago, I would say I sustained a level of extreme sadness, if you want to call it that, for a long period of time. Until I just thought to myself, you know, it's time to, I know it sounds it's another cliche, but I'm like, it's just time to fucking work, dude. The reason I'm so sad is because I'm expecting that it should be some other way. Who said that? Who said that? Who said you should feel good? Why should I feel good? Should I just feel good for nothing? These are the questions I asked myself. I said, I don't feel good for a reason. You know, you breathe to sustain life. Shit's usually working out for you at a base level. Like, you don't think about breathing, but you breathe to sustain life. The body has several functions that sustain life that you don't actually have to consciously think about, and their main goal, whether complex or simple in process, is to sustain life. On emotional level, sometimes, 90% of the time, from my experience, I've realized it's the same thing. You don't generally feel anything for no reason, good or bad, usually as helping to you. So that was a revelation for me, to think that I could be sad because I've done something to make me sad. There's something going on here. And it's come up as a tool for me to be able to learn from it so I can progress. It's time to launch again. Do you see my point? Now, you might be sitting there thinking, Abdullah, stop being a dickhead. You got no empathy, you got no sympathy. Brother, trust me, I got empathy, bro. You know how many times I stared up this balcony and thought, it's time to jump? I got empathy for you. I know exactly how you're feeling. Regardless of the situation, it's regardless of this. You can have no abject suffering in your life and feel completely shit. And I've seen that with thousands of people. You can have no abject suffering in your life and feel worse than the kid in Africa who's got no motherfucking water. Through your own beliefs, your own knowledge, your own acceptance of what's right, what's wrong, how it should be, what it shouldn't be. Your own faith. So, think about it. Really, it takes one step from being a victim to thinking that you're in the supreme seat. You're in the playground of development. Okay? You're in the playground of motherfucking development, dude. Realize that. Okay? And put on your big boy pants and say, it's time to actually go to work. It's time to actually get to the core of this. And be fearless, bro. I'm not talking fearless like, yeah, I fight dudes on the street, fearless. I'm not scared of anybody. I'm talking fearless as in, I'm not scared of my own self. Because chances are, if you've got yourself to this deep state of sadness, you probably don't, over a long period of time, it might have taken you or whatever. I'm not saying this is specifically you. You probably don't know much about yourself. And I'm not claiming I know much about myself. I think it's quite hard to know a lot about yourself. Because honestly, who am I? It's the oldest question of fucking time. Not even the smartest minds have, you know, we haven't even come to a conclusion on that. We've come to theories, we've come to beliefs, subject to experience. You know what I mean? So, but your exploration of that question has been minimal, and sometimes that can, you know, enhance your sadness because you can't pick up on the subtleties of what's going on, of the subtleties of the root of the cause of this. So there's no real way around it, bro, other than accepting that this is what's happening. I am a sad cunt. You know what I mean? This is the short answer. I am a sad cunt. Now, I'm going to do my best to work it out, regardless of how long it takes. Remove time from the situation. Okay, if you're extremely sad and you sit there thinking about time, you won't be able to hold on anymore. You're holding on too much. You'll be like, shit, dude. Today feels so bad. How am I going to do tomorrow? How am I going to do tomorrow? And you're thinking like, shit, this is never going to end, bro. I've done this for the last year. How am I going to get through the next year? It feels like the world's collapsing on my shoulders. You feel like that dude with the globe on his back, and he's just thinking like, shit, this is too heavy. I feel the weight of the world on my shoulders. That's how you're feeling right now, right? So you have to remove time from the situation and manage it as best you can, and realize that humans you're extremely resilient, bro. Think about humans. I'm constantly dumbfounded by the resilience of human beings, regardless of the situation. I mean, everyone's put into a difficult situation, man. That's life. Life has an inherent level of suffering, okay, and that is basically formed. And the level of suffering is in the same zone as the level of is in the same box as the level of liberation. Once you approach it from the right angle, once you can get the clarity of mind to see, is that no one knows, and that's the suffering, that you don't know what's happening. Like, you might receive information from class, school, parents, teachers, whatever, about how to operate in this world, but on a true base level, no one knows what the fuck's going on, and that's where a lot of shit comes from. Is that you're trying to work it out the best you can. You're trying to find meaning in somewhat of a meaningless situation. It can seem like it sometimes, and it can really be tough. So, you know, I give a pat to every single person on the stream. I give a pat to myself. I give a pat to any motherfucker, regardless, rich, poor, whatever, because it's not easy. But like I said, bro, there's something there to be learnt, man. That's almost feels like it's encoded. I mean, I'm getting G'd up, bro, because I've thought about it a long time. That I feel like, personally, it's encoded there, man. It's encoded there. Like, you're about to make the leap that you need to make, man. Because it's like, some people never get to that point. I mean, because consciously, it might not be in the focal point of your awareness, but subconsciously, deep down inside, you know something's funky. You know that walking around all day within yourself is a funky fucking thing that you never addressed. And it's time to address it. That's why I'm saying it's time to launch up to the next level. And it's manifested itself in your life as this sadness. But that's why it's great, man. Because for the seeker, it's guaranteed that you're going to encounter this. It's guaranteed that you're going to encounter this. You can look at it from a religious perspective, a philosophical perspective, any perspective, man. But from what I've seen is that there's an inherent level of shitness to the situation that you have to break through before it becomes blissful. And we live in a world that deters you from getting to the critical mass point where you sit there and you say, I've had enough, cunt. I've had enough. You lose all respect and you think this is getting too motherfucking much. And that's the breaking point. But we live in a world that has you scrolling on your Instagram, whatever you're doing, any form of distraction, really removing you from that critical mass point, bro. And that critical mass point happened for me when I was 15, 16. You know, I just gave up, bro. I just said, this is too much. It takes some people, dude. It takes some people 30, 40, 50 years. I thought when I was 15 that I would give up these beliefs, like they were just something of an age, you know what I mean? And that's what people were telling me when I was 15. I was saying, look, dude, you only believe this because you're 15. You have no responsibilities. You don't know what responsibilities I have, G. What happens if I had all the responsibilities? What happens if I had a kid, I had a mortgage, I got mouths to feed? How do you know? You know what I mean? And what I've seen with time and discipline is that, if anything, the beliefs cultivate and get stronger. It gets stronger, dude. If I sit back and reflect on that exact moment I just was talking about, shit, dude, that was almost 10 fucking years ago, dude. 10 years ago, we were talking about the power of now. 10 fucking, and I'm still revisiting ideas I had 10 years ago and fucking saying I was stupid. 10 years. It took me 10 years to feel what I was talking about 10 years ago, like I knew what was happening. And I guarantee you in 10 years, I'm going to revisit what I'm saying now and say, shit, I don't even know what the fuck was going on, eh? I barely scratched the surface. But that's what keeps me interested, man. So, I forgot where that question started. But, key point is you're on a good path, man. Whether or not you realize that or not. Do I think my life can get better, and how? What's the highest level imagine you can reach? It's not something I really think about, bro. It's not really something I think about. Like, I don't sit here and think to myself, how can my life be better right now? If I feel like I'm, and not to say that it couldn't be better, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to give you an insight. Like, I sit here and think, I don't even think. I try not to think, bro. I try to be in a default, you know what I mean? Default, which is just being. I know it sounds cliche, but it's an actual thing. Trust me, it's an actual thing, dude, to just be. And it's oftentimes the hardest thing to do. But if I feel like I can't do that and something's impeding me, then I look at it and say, how can I remove this factor that's impeding me to be? If that makes any sense. You know, because you can always sit there and think to yourself, I can make this situation better, I can make this situation better. But if you do that too much, bro, and not to say that you shouldn't strive always for the best, you know, but that's an intuition thing. You know when you're doing your best, you know. But beyond that, if you try and use your mind too much, there can always be a better situation. There can always be a better situation. I can always have more money. I can always feel a bit better. My hormones can be always peaking a bit higher. You know what I mean? And then you end up giving what's actually going on. And that's the highest level of disrespect, is to sit down and not know you're sitting down. Is to eat and not know that you're eating. Is to be somewhere but be somewhere else at the same time. Not in a good way. It's to be with your mum but be thinking about training. It's to be at training and be thinking about your mum. It's to be cycling and not know that you're cycling. And it sounds like you can't be done, but we know, and you know, and everyone else knowing, watching, knows that this is the state, bro. This is the state of awareness that people live in. This is the state of consciousness that people live in. I know they're iffy words, is where you're torn between 30 or 40 realities at any given second, because your mind is so fucking clusterfucked, because you have not been trained in the art of mental discipline. Your knowledge and understanding about what the fuck is going on has created this to the point where you can't even walk to the shops and string together one thought for the whole time, and then you think to yourself, why don't I have any good ideas? Why don't I have an imagination? Why can't I do this? Why do I never finish anything? It's like, motherfucker, you can't even walk to the shops and sustain one thought for 5 minutes. I know, because I've been like that before. And I thought to myself, why is this happening? First question, why is this happening? And then I took the hammer, I took the chisel, and I thought, it's time to carve it out. You know what I mean, G? It's time to carve it out. What's holding me back? Why can't I enjoy this? I mean, being a pissing, shitting, loving, emotional, being able to bear emotions, dude. And what more do you want, bro? I'm talking to myself. What more do you want? To drink water, piss, to eat food and shit, to sleep and dream, to live in this reality where no one really knows what the fuck's going on. We're all trying to work it out the best we can. Interacting with humans, having friends, not having friends, feeling like you're suffering for no reason, and then receiving some form of having times of hardship followed by times of ease. What more do you want, dude? And we do more than that, dude. And we do a lot more than that. So for me, it was more so about not learning anything new. It was about unlearning a lot of things, having the courage to strip them, having the courage to look at myself in the mirror and say, you're a cunt, which is quite difficult. I did it the other night. And not relearn, not regain, not kind of learn more to a degree, but also relearn things that inherently I've come to understand that I think I've lost. And the further I go back within my mind, I realize that there are things that I have lost. Yeah, I do, bro. Bananas and pajamas, I do. Tom Craig, shout out to you. How should you deal with low self-esteem, self-worth? I mean, you just work on it. I mean, there's no really sexy way around it. I mean, if I think about my own self in terms of low self-esteem, anything in terms of body image issues, whatever it might fucking be, you might feel like you're fat, you might feel like dudes don't find you sexy, whatever it is, you just work on it. On every level. On a mental level, you work at it, whether that be through the act of thinking more about it or thinking less about it. I mean, oftentimes it takes a lot more thought at the start. You have to really get to the basis of it, the basis of this issue, and that takes a lot more conscious effort at the start. You have to, and then you can let go of it. You can see, oh, this is the root of where my self-esteem issues lie, And once you get there, which might take a lot of effort at the start, then you can say, it's time to let go of it. And at the start, letting go of it might take a long time, because you might have developed this in subtle ways for like 15, 20 years. You might be 25, 30, bro. You might be 30, bro. You might be 35 and have developed this for 35 years. Shit doesn't go away overnight, especially for the unskilled. I'm not saying I'm skilled. Don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to say that I'm skilled. But for the person who's not experienced in the subtleties of getting to the core of it, accepting it, letting it go, and going forward, it can be a long process. It's a huge process for me, a long process for me. I mean, I had some of this shit the other night when I was sitting in bed, bro. You know, I realized a few things that were still issues for me that I thought that I had got away from. But, you know, I've had a tiny bit of experience with letting go, and that's what I did. I immediately felt like I just went down 35 kilos in body weight. Immediately. It's phenomenal. My quality of life literally went up 2.5% overnight. It's insane how prolific something like that can be. So, you know, short answer is work at it, bro. Work at it. You know what I mean? Work at it. And it's not like you have all the tools internally to work at it. It's not like you need to go seek some external tools, bro. All these external tools are internal tools anyway. This is all a part of your mind, your reality. You know what I mean? So they already sit with you. You already have the tools to work at it. It's just about initiating those tools, putting them into fucking practice. You know, because oftentimes you say you want to do something, but when push comes to shove, you don't. Whether it be because you're scared, lazy, whatever it may be. You're like, oh, I'll kind of get to it. But if it's something truly that you feel that you want to attack, you want to get better, you want to release this plague of whatever that's plaguing you, man. Because it really is like a plague, you know, it's a sickness, self-esteem thing. I mean, it's one of the most common things, man, is, you know, if we generate an amount of conscious thought that people have every day, or unconscious thought, subconscious thought, that people have surrounding, you know, that we can put into the box of self-esteem issues, it's huge. I mean, if there was a weight that we could quantify, it'd be billions and billions of tons. And I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you. And there's a reason it's so common. I mean, whether or not you believe that the body is the epicenter of everything and that's you completely, I mean, that's your home. And we live in an over-sexualized, over-physicalized, if that's a word, society that puts a high level of importance on the physique, on the body, on the looks, on whatever. And that's the world in which you operate. Well, unless you choose to operate outside of that, that's the world that most people operate in. And that's where, you know, a lot of it gets fucked up. I mean, if I walk down the street, man, and if that's the world I operate in, it's quite confronting, man. It's like a big competition of who can look the most dope, who can be the most slim, who can be the most cut, who can be the most sexy. You know what I mean, dude? And just like anything, there's always another cunt who can be more sexy. There's always another cunt who can be more cut. You can always a cunt who can look better. There's always a dude with a nicer looking person. You know, like, it's just endless. It's the nature of numbers. They're infinite. There's always more. You know what I mean? So get to the root of it, man. Regardless of how torturous it may be. And it often is a torturous, shrubbed, overcrowded path that you have to walk on until you turn the lights on. You know, and that's the state in which you're at. You're like on a path that's full of dead motherfucking plants. Not saying this is you, but you might be on a path that's like, this is how sometimes I think of it, man. It's, you might be on a path, man, that's dim and grim. But it's like, and the plants haven't received light in a long time. Light's an overused word, obviously. We like to use it a lot. But we'll use it in this context, you know what I mean? That's the path. But once you walk the path becomes illuminated, man. And the tree starts to regain life again. It's a seed that sprouts within yourself. And that's what you cultivate, and you trim the garden. That's what you're working on, G. You know what I mean? It's like you walk, that's the act of what you're doing. It's like you're walking this path that's shrubbed, overcrowded, thorny as fuck. If you haven't never walked it, no lights, dim, hasn't received sun, and your intention is the sun, G. And that's what's shining on the garden, giving life back to things that's always been there. You see what I mean? That's the poetic way of putting it. And then maintaining that is going through and get your scissors out and saying, am I a cunt, am I not a cunt? Oh, that tree over there, I want to work on that tree, let's go work on that. I'm going to chuck some seeds in there, water that shit. That's going to rise. Abdullah been watching too much Jordan Peterson, bro. I don't watch Jordan Peterson, G. I don't watch Jordan Peterson, G. I make a point not to watch the most common videos on YouTube. You know what I mean? Not to say that his shit's not good, because I remember a long time ago people were talking to me about him, and I looked his shit up. You know what I mean? It's fucked how people need someone so prolific to say the most basic things to have any impact on their life. You know what I mean? And not basic as in what he says all the time is basic. But, you know, like it takes someone with a mega following, mega credibility, mega credentials to tell you to clean your room. It's like, come on, G. Is that the level we operate at? That you need all of that before you make your bed? Before you have the epiphany to make your fucking bed? Is that how far we need to be? You know what I mean? I need a NASA-spaced motherfucking scientist to tell me to make my bed before I actually think, yeah, that seems to be a good idea. Do you think that words and language are limited? Can we express all we feel in word form? No. Now, there's a level I think that operates way beyond language. You know, I just think of anything I do like this, talking logically, you know, I always feel like it's limited anyway. And well, it is. It's just, we know that the body's limited. We know that the senses are limited. We know that the tools we have to decipher what's going on in the scheme of what is out there is limited. So I have no doubt that there's limitations on that. But on a feeling level, I've always felt, now we're saying felt, these things are unquantifiable. I've always felt that when I've ever got closer to something that is more meaningful, I've had more trouble explaining it. And it's taken a lot of work to even try and explain it. Like the way I can explain it now to you has only been through the effort of 10 years of trying to explain it. You see my point? And it's not even scratching the surface of some things. So sometimes I get into conversations and I think to myself, I can't even put words to what I'm trying to say to you right now because it's just a feeling, man. How can I explain this feeling to you when there is no, it's beyond words. But that's why it feels so honest and I feel like it's so truthful. It's because I can't put it into words. That's generally when they're like signs. I'm like, shit, I can't even describe this to you, G. That's when I'm like, we're kind of getting something meaningful. You know, we're getting something close. So, I agree with you, if that's what you think. I mean, language gets you pretty far. You can communicate quite a lot of things, especially if you work on it. I think it's like anything. If you work at communicating, you work in communication, you get better at communication. But I think also there's a level where it's like, where you max out the communication, where it's like, anything else that you're feeling above that barrier, it's like you can't put into words. Like they can only be felt. Do you think people have become oversensitive? I think sensitivity is an interesting topic. Sensitivity is an interesting topic. You know what I mean? Sensitivity is an interesting topic. Oversensitive on bad things and like you know, it's the same dynamic of overcomplicating simple things and simplifying overcomplicated things. Same thing as being oversensitive about shit that you don't need to be sensitive about and being desensitized to things that you should be sensitive about. Like I said, bro, like You know what I mean? There could be a lunar eclipse. You could be having sex with your girlfriend, eating the finest food in the world, feeling the wind on your face, driving 60 miles an hour with the aircon on with the windows down, and it would mean nothing to you because you'd be thinking about some other bullshit. You know what I mean? And then that's just scratching the surface of lack of sensitivity that people live in. Like, I should start a business where I come run over you with my car so you can regain sensitivity. You're essentially like a human being that's been rubbed down with fucking sandpaper. And on the under level of that, I mean, people are so oversensitive about just meaningless shit. I mean, I don't operate in a sensitive world, so I can't really think of an example. But people generally are I'm just assuming that people are generally pretty sensitive about shit that doesn't fucking matter. But that's a knowledge thing. You're sensitive about shit that doesn't matter because it's rooted in a foundation of knowledge that is misplaced. And that's what allows you, because you don't understand, that's what allows you to be sensitive. Like, you get self-esteem issues about the body because you think the body is the epicenter of fucking everything. Now, I'm not saying that's not true, but I'm saying you see how that belief allows you to feel that way. I am my body, this is it, this is the pinnacle, nothing more, nothing less. Then of course, shit, you know how skinny fat I am, G? You know how pissed I'd be? You know what I mean? This is the final product. This is the showroom. Have you tried a carnivore diet? No. I've never ever done that, bro. I've never ever done that, eh? And I wouldn't recommend it. But, at the same time, I wouldn't recommend it, bro. But also at the same time, I wouldn't recommend doing anything I say I do it just because I say. I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing anything I say just because I say it. I would recommend doing what you want and working it out for yourself. All I can do is just give you the advice that I best think is reasonable. And I don't think a carnivore diet is reasonable for several reasons. So no, I would never ever recommend doing someone a carnivore diet. And I've eaten a lot of meat in my time. Dude. When I first got into training, I used to eat a fuck ton of meat. And obviously I didn't feel too bad because I was, I didn't really feel too bad at the time because there was things that weren't there were things I hadn't learned yet. I wouldn't say learned, there were things I hadn't become aware of yet. So it wasn't an issue for me. And any issue physically I might have felt on a health level from the meat, they were negated by training. Easily they were negated by training at the start. So, that was my history with it. I'm talking like 300-400 grams of chicken breast per meal, bro. You know how it goes. But eventually I just had to give that up, eh? Which was hard for me because I got used to it because that was something I did for years. Like anything, you get used to it, becomes a habit, you identify with it. To remove yourself from that is quite difficult. But, I'm not walking through the airport with 35 fucking bags. 40 bags, 50 bags, diet being one of them. It was just like, boom, get rid of it. I fly with no luggage. Only tools. The bike's one of them. Yeah, I've been riding, bro. I've been writing. I've been writing. I got a trek. Trek. I've got the model, bro. A Monda. It's a good bike. It needs a service. Needs a clean. Needs a new chain. Needs new chain rings. Do you believe in freedom of speech? It's not something I really think about, bro. I just say, like, it's not really something I think about. I just say what I generally want to say. I don't really find myself saying things I don't really want to say. You know, I value the speech because I realize the speech comes from a place that's important. I try and refrain from talking just for the sake of it. I know it might not sound like that, but that's something I've been working on for a long time. As of late. If that's a long time. You know, I just won't say shit for the sake of it, so. But in terms of freedom of speech, man, I don't feel like my freedom of speech is impinged in any way, like. But maybe it's just because I don't find myself in the situation where that would occur. Like, why would I? I mean, I go to the gym, I come home, I go for a walk, I read a book, I talk to my friends, I talk to people on the street if I see someone, or, you know, supermarket and shit. Like, what am I going to say to her? What am I going to say to the checkout girl? What am I going to say to the dude at the gym? You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm in some position where, like, every single word is, like, cracked down on by some other foreign party that's like, you can't say that. Even then, I would hope that I would still say what the fuck I want to say. But like I said, very easy for me to do that because it's just easy for me to do that. Do you believe monogamy is realistic? As in, you know, I'm not really too versed up on the definition of monogamy, but you're talking about monogamy as in just having one wife and sticking to that one wife. Like, I think that's what it is, eh? How do you feel about the concept of God and hell punishing? You know, it's a tough one, bro. Okay, let me answer the first one, and then we'll get onto the question of hell. It's a hard question, by the way. If I don't answer it, resend it. You know, I'd hope so, bro. I mean, obviously, you know, like, I've had a girlfriend for X amount of time. How can I truly say? You know, because I've been monogamous for. It's not like I died monogamous. You know what I mean? I haven't died yet. You know what I mean? And then you'd have to come ask me from the grave. You know, I would hope so. You know, I think it would be. Like, if I sit here and really think about it, I think it would be. Like, I feel like I got into my relationship on solid intentions. You know, the foundation of what formed my relationship was solid. I wasn't needy. I wasn't like, yo, I need a distraction. I wasn't like searching for some sort of like extra level of meaning to extrapolate some more meaning from something. You know what I mean? I was just like, I found a girl where the founder, she was there at the correct time, and like, it was just someone that I fell in love with. And I still feel the same way. Obviously, it's changed. It's not changed as in the love's less. It's just different now. You know what I mean? Which I also love too. And if anything, I've ever found anything with my relationship is it's oftentimes what I see in the relationship, just like anything else, is a reflection of me. It's not. I don't see it as purely as it is. I see it how I am. So anytime I've ever approached it from that standpoint, you know, it's always worked out pretty fucking well. And it's allowed me to maintain and really, it feels like the first day I met my girlfriend in some ways, like in terms of like I'm still fucking G'd up to see her, you know. So I think as of now, I think it's extremely, I think it would be just depending on the person and the other person and why they go into the relationship and what the relationship means to them. If it's just, some people literally get into a relationship just to bide their fucking time and use it as a stepping stone. Dudes are like, I'm bored. I need someone to sit on me with the couch because I can't handle myself. obviously, how the fuck is that going to be monogamous? How is that a monogamous relationship? How is that ever going to last? You know what I mean? So I think it really depends. I think it really depends. Yeah, I mean, one partner's enough, man. I mean, one partner's enough. You know what I mean? How many partners do you need, dude? Are you talking about Are you talking about having multiple partners at the same time, or are you talking about like having a partner, then leaving that partner, and then moving on to another partner? If you're talking about multiple partners at one time, man, I applaud anyone who can pour themselves into multiple partners at one time and deal with all that shit. Yeah. Who is Wanderlust? Pleasure to see you. Shout out to you, Lamayas. Thoughts about concepts of reincarnation? Thoughts? You know, I got thoughts on it, dude. I got thoughts on it, and I haven't. It depends on what level. It depends on. I definitely do think reincarnation is a highly possible. You know, in terms of my belief, I completely believe in it. Obviously, that takes a leap of faith. That takes a leap of faith. We're going to have to end the stream soon because my phone's about to run out. That takes a leap of faith, obviously, because I haven't died and been reincarnated, so I can't confirm it as fact. But it takes a leap of faith. And where we'll be reincarnated to, that's where it becomes, you know, we start getting into heaven, hell, fourth dimension, fifth dimension. That's when all those concepts start coming into it, because you think like, okay, I'm firmly, you know, not firmly, obviously I'm always willing to not be firm, you know, to change and alter and on these things. But as of now, like, let's just say that we're believing in reincarnation. Now we think to ourselves, where are we going to be reincarnated though? You know, and that's where it differs for lots of people, man. Some people, it might be a different world. It might be this world. It might be the animal world. It might be heaven. It might be hell. It could be fucking anywhere, dude. It could be four-dimensional dreaming type thing. You know, that's why I'm fascinated by dreaming. All these different types is like I feel like that's it, man. Like that's a strong concept to wrap your head around. Is that reality you experience when you dream is your next reality, and I like that belief. You know, call it utilitarian or whatever, because I noticed that my ability to harness power in dreams, my ability to have good dreams, my ability to be able to do anything, my ability to manifest my cousin, put him on my back, fly around, and see people on cross trainers on the top of a Brazilian mountain was heavily dictated by my state of consciousness. How empty I could get my mind, how good I was, what level of intention I brought to everything, the way I was acting, not the way I was speaking, but the way I was acting. Not like, yeah, you're good, but in my heart I'm like, you're a cunt. No, actually believing that you're good at acting good and doing it. So I noticed, I was like, and then I started thinking in my head about verses from the Quran. I started thinking about, there's this nice verse in the Quran, bro, that leads into this. And you're not going to be religious, but also it's something you should pay attention to, even if you're not religious, just in terms of a reference point to think about. There's a verse in there, right? And it's like, it's common amongst Muslims is that God is the person, not person, entity, whatever being, that removes the soul from the soul, if you believe in the soul, from the person at night, and then and they die and then they return back to the body. I'm pretty sure that's it. You know what I mean? They get resurrected every morning. And that's why the morning is such a pivotal, that's why we talk about the morning routine, G, because essentially you've been resurrected. You're gonna be resurrected, and the first thing you do is gonna be go on Instagram after you've been resurrected. No, if you got resurrected, that's not what you're gonna do. If you got resurrected, you're gonna kiss your fucking girlfriend and go drink some water and think, holy fuck, go look at the sun and think this is amazing. So, you know, that leads itself into establishing a good morning routine. But it makes you think, like, what state am I entering at night? And what's the power there if I can explore that? Could that be a potential reality that is my next destination? Where it's like, you're not bound by the limits of this reality, where it's like, if I can manifest my cousin on my back and go flying, is that where I potentially could go? And what does it mean to not dream? What does it not mean to lose those powers? I meet people who don't dream, dude, and haven't remembered dreams in years, not even remembered them. What does that mean? And why is it like that? These are just things I think about. I'm not at any level saying this shit's true. I'm just saying this is what I think about. So anyway, I better wrap up the stream. I mean, that kind of led into the question about heaven and hell. You know what I mean? And if we use it in context of dream, in context of that sleep state, that conscious state when you're dreaming, that state you enter when you're dreaming, or out of body, whatever, it would be largely dictated by your work that you do in this reality and your beliefs in this reality. If you believed in nothing, chances are not much funky shit's going to happen to you in your dream. Not much funky shit's going to be happening, dude, for you. You know what I mean? If you were evil, maybe you produced an evil outcome of complete nothingness. You know? If you thought there was nothing, you became blind. You became deaf. You couldn't perceive it. These are things that could be, you know, they could be very well true, man. And then it becomes a question of, are you willing to make that trade? Where it's like, obviously you live in a reality where it's like you need to touch it, see it, smell it, taste it, whatever, for you to establish that it's real. But we know that it's being done with imperfect senses. And we know that there's realities, a level of reality that exists outside of those senses that we can't perceive. So it's like there has to be a level of, there has to be a leap of faith initiated. You have to know that there's more to it than what you see. You have to know that. And that is the springboard in the leap of faith. That's when you go, well, why wouldn't I take the leap of faith, dude? When we know this is, even on a scientific level, this is proven. It shouldn't be hard for you to take a leap of faith and at least cultivate some of these ideas to where they could actually become a true fucking belief. A true belief. Not a belief that, you know, your mum told you when you were like, yeah, fuck yeah. I'm talking a belief that you were like, you've cultivated and rooted in your own experience, whether it be through the combination of whatever, bro, books and real life, whatever it may be. So shouts to all of you, I'm done. And I feel good about that because I feel like we got some good stuff out. And that's why I take time off YouTube, bro, because that's what the kind of shit I need time to think about without just talking about it. I need to think about it. It can't just be some regurgitation. So I'm gonna see you soon. Shouts to all of you. I felt like that was good. I mean, what can I call this stream? Quickly, what can I call this stream? If I'm gonna leave this stream up, what am I gonna call it? I feel like it was a good stream. I want to leave it up, but what can I call it? I feel fresh, dude. You know why I feel fresh? Because I was on a different plane then, dude. I was on a different plane then. The sound in my mind was nil. Fucking nil. I went there then, dude. You just witnessed it. Woo! I feel fresh. That's the equivalent of doing a 10-hour TT. That's why we're here, dude. Now I'm back. Now I'm thinking to myself, what am I having breakfast? You know what I mean? Now I'm thinking to myself, what am I having breakfast? I'm getting in the way again. Shouts to you. Take care. I'll see you in the next stream. Whenever that may be. Thank you for all the suggestions. Cold upwards. No. Shouts to you, Samurai, man. I appreciate it. Ciao.